Hey everybody, this is Jack Allwild with the Brothers on Books podcast, and we are still discussing the psychology of money. Today we're talking chapter 10, Save Money. The only factor you can control generates one of the only things that matters. How wonderful. Now, this talks about, building wealth has little to do with your income or investment returns and a lot to do with your savings rate. If your savings rate is zero, it doesn't matter if you're making 50 grand or 100 grand or $1 million a year. If you spend everything you make, you're not going to have anything. You're not going to be able to create that buffer that will help you generate wealth in the long term. And he's got a good quote that says, "What you need sits just below your ego. The most powerful way to increase savings rate isn't to make more income. It's to raise your humility." And he brings up the good points that you don't need a specific reason to save because cash is king in times of darkness. Cash lowers your overall volatility when you add something more stable. And I think people can see that if you were invested in the stock market. I mean, at one point, I think it was down almost 30% year to date. I think right now we're sitting beginning of December. I think we're about down 15% year to date. But if you had added more cash, you wouldn't be down that much. And he makes the last point that intangibles such as like time freedom in life are harder to quantify and wrap your mind around. It's hard to put freedom into a spreadsheet. And I think on his first point that cash is king in times of darkness, I would just like to share a story of when I lost a job in 2016, and luckily I saved a lot of money, so I was able to take a trip, and I was able to, take a pause from life and be free in a certain way, and just read a ton of books. And I met my now wife in Austria from that trip, and it was all possible because I had saved money and wasn't stressing when I lost a job. So with that, I will see you in the next episode for chapter 11, where we discuss reasonable rationale.